Good morning, second grade math students. How are you doing today? It's great to be with you, and we're going to continue our learning in place value and adding 3-digit numbers using strategies. Yesterday you relearned about how to use partial sums with 2-digit numbers, and today we're going to be working on 10-6, and we are going to use different strategies and strategies that work for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on page 453. And I wrote out the I can statement, and you can read it at the top of page 453, or you can read it with me. Okay, ready? Here we go. I can use different addition strategies to add and explain why they work. I must have smudged that. All right, one more time. I can use different addition strategies to add and explain why the strategies work. So we're on 10-6, page 453 in the workbook. So you'll need your whiteboard and you'll need your place value mat, and if you want you can use your blocks to model today, or you can draw models with your pen on your board. Okay? And we're going to review some vocabulary that we can use today, and I'll refer to. And strategies. And strategies is a method that works every time. And partial sums is one strategy, and that's a strategy where you put it into their place value. And I like to call it the expanded form, like we learned last unit. The expanded form, where you're expanding the number into its hundreds value, its tens and its ones in addition sentence. And then another strategy we did in 2-digit addition was break apart numbers. And then you can use models to help you draw models, or models with your base 10 place value blocks. And another model is the open number line. Okay, let's get started. And we're going to work on the solve and share today. And I'll use that same equation to model the different strategies and explain why they work. So they're asking you to find the sum of 375 plus 235. Okay, so if you use the strategy we used yesterday, partial sums, you would add 300 plus 70 plus 5, 200 plus 30 plus 5. You put your sum line, put your addition symbol, and you add the ones column first, and you have 10. Add the tens column next, and you get 100, because 7 plus 3 is 10. So 70 and 30 is 10 tens, which equals 100. And then 300 plus 200 is 500. And then you add them all together to get your sum, 500, 610. So 610. Okay, you can also break apart numbers. Now watch this carefully, because I'll show you this, and then I'll show you how to do it on a number line. Go ahead and write it on the back up here. So we just did partial sums. So this is partial sums. Okay, and now I'm going to show you break apart numbers. So we'll have the same equation, 375 plus 235. Okay? Oh, and this works because you are putting the numbers into their place value, and then you're adding them in their place value and getting their sums, and then you're adding it back together again to get the total. Okay, that's why the partial sums works, because you're splitting it into its place value, into the place value columns. Okay, so here we are with break apart numbers. So this is going to be break apart numbers. So when you're breaking apart numbers, you only break apart the second addend. That would be 235. So you have 375, and you are going to break it apart And let's go ahead and break it apart into 200 plus 35. So right away you're getting rid of the 200 and you're adding it to the total. So we have 575 because 300s and 200s equals 500s. So now you've made it a bit of an easier problem because now you just have 575 plus 35. Okay, I guess I should leave that there so you can see it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that 5 ones and I'm going to make this 30 plus 5 because 30 plus 5 equals 35. And I'm going to take that 5 and I'm going to add it to the 75 and I'm going to get 580. And now I have 580 plus 30. That's what I have left. And so 8, 9, 10, 11. So I know 11. So 80 plus 30 is 11 tenths. So I'm going to have 610. So let me try that again with you. 580, 590, 600, 610. So I took the 5 and I added it to 575 and I made a 0 in the ones. Whenever you have a 0 in the ones, it's a friendlier number to add to because you're using the 0 property. So now I have 580 and I have another 0 here. I have a 30 with a 0 on the ones. So I'm just going to count up by tens just like you did earlier in this unit. So we have 580, 590, 600, 610. And that's my number right there. And it works because I am adding it in parts. I'm adding the hundreds first. I'm making it easier to add by making zeros in the ones. And then I'm adding the 35. Taking the 5 and moving it to make a 0 in the ones. And then I add up 30. So if you want to do this on an open number line, you would start with 375 and you would add your 200s. So we would go 375, 475, 575, and we write our labels. So we have plus 100, plus 100. And now we would go up 35. So we would go up 3 tenths. So 575, we would go up 585, 595, and now we're on our return sweep. We're in the next hundreds, 605. Okay, and these are tens. And we make all our labels on the number line, and then we still need to add the 5 ones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we end up with 610 right there. Okay, so that's how we know it works because we double checked it with a model. Okay, so now there's one left. And this is break apart numbers. This is the open number line. And the last one we have to do is the base 10 blocks. So we have our blocks, and this is how you would draw them. It's the 1,000 block, it's up here. And these are the base 10 blocks. So we have the same equation. We have 300, oops, these are flats. 300, 70, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 200, 100, 200, 30, 10, 20, 30, and 5. So this is a good visual for regrouping because we know we have a bundle here, so we're going to move that over here and put another 10 here and cross this off. Okay, And then we're going to count our tens because there's more than 10 here, and then we can do another regrouping. So let's count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So all of that goes over here to make another flat hundreds. And we're left with 10 hundreds and 0 ones. And how many? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So we have 610. And this is using the model with the place value blocks or base 10 blocks. And this is a model. Okay, and this works because it gives you a visual and you can regroup. You're able to regroup the ones and you're able to regroup the tens. Okay? All right, so there we go. We have the different ways to do it, the different strategies. We have partial sums, break apart numbers, and we can do models. And models are a method that always works. And there's different kinds of models, and the two models we did was the number line right here and drawing the place value blocks. Okay, so good luck. I'm going to have you work on the guided practice with your parents because we're out of time. And tomorrow we'll move to 10-7. And you'll be able to take the test for this unit by the end of the week if you're ready. All right, let's go ahead and read the I can statement again. I think I forgot to do that yesterday. Sometimes I'm rushing. I can use different addition strategies to add and explain why the strategies work. Now remember, you will use the strategy that works best for you to get your answer, and then you need to double check your work with either another strategy or a model or the number grid, and you'll be able to explain your thinking. Okay, and you do need to learn how to recognize all of the strategies, especially if you see them on a test and their names, so work on that vocabulary. All right, good night. Good rest of your day. It's not night. Well, it depends on when you see this. It's night for me, but when you see it tomorrow morning, have a good rest of your day, and I still miss you very much. And, right, I will see you sometime in the halls in Bagley in our new building, and I can't wait. All right, take care.